John Roberts, the founder of AO.com, is one of this country's most successful entrepreneurs. He's also one of this country's most successful believers in social entrepreneurship. And he's going to tell you the story of how those two go together and what he's done to fly the flag for that vision of private sector supporting public goals and public values. John, I'm incredibly grateful. I know you've come down this morning on a plane to be here with us, and you've got to get back up this afternoon. Your time is precious, and I really appreciate you coming.
See, I've witnessed our young people float around with an energy dispersed into the oblivion of nowhere to go and nothing to do. Aimless in the endless maze of boredom, loneliness, and temptation. There seems to be no way out for this lost generation, left to spend 85% of waking hours outside of education with no fire to illuminate that boundless imagination. And we wonder why 1 in 8 from low-income estates achieves average earnings as an adult. It's an insult, a social crisis, a growing virus, the likes of which we have never seen. But there is a way out, a silver lining to the dark clouds. If you are aged 8 to 19 or up to 25 with a disability, OnSide is opening its doors to a brighter future. Somewhere fun, safe, and inspiring to go. Something exciting to do, a hot meal with those you know. Someone to talk to for guidance or support into your choice of employment. Someone who listens, understands, and believes in your empowerment. From state-of-the-art sports, media, dance, and musical facilities to inclusive activities for young people of all abilities. From arts and crafts to enterprising career paths to just meeting some friends and having some laughs. Giving a generation the chance and the confidence, the determination to find themselves without discrimination. Giving a generation the hunger and the drive to lead healthy, active, and aspirational lives. There are well over 20,000 young people engaged in over 20 activities a day here, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and 1 in 4 come for one-to-one support. It's proven to reduce crime and antisocial behavior by half or more, as well as create hundreds of opportunities for employment. It's 21st century youth provision, built on noble and sustainable partnerships between the community, local authority, young people, and private business leadership. Without each other, none of this would happen. So let's support each other and make it happen. Help OnSide create 100 youth zones and give young people a way out. Out.
Okay, thank you. I play the video because when I talk to people that have never heard of OnSide about youth zones, they think of a dilapidated scout hut type shed. And these are £6 million each, so it's a hell of a shed that we build for them. And they cost about, to give some context, about £1 million each per year to run. And again, to frame some context for that, we've currently raised over, I think it's over about £120 million for these, and we have 9 of them live and 14 in build. So it's a fair old running cost that we have behind it. But in terms of the introduction that George did, I stand in front of you really more as an entrepreneur, I guess, and to explain OnSide and why I got involved in OnSide. But why get involved in anything, I think is a bigger question, but I will apply that more specifically to OnSide. So I just think that we have a responsibility to engage, and I believe that I have a responsibility to bring to the charitable sector and the voluntary sector what made AO successful. because quite often in those sectors they don't have those experiences, and we're much stronger together. This isn't just about money at all. Although money unquestionably has an important role to play, this is much more about convening. It's about giving people vision, belief, inspiration, and then helping them to use what we know from the private sector with a business mentality to bring it to a reality for them. I think we have a responsibility to dream for others. I think, you know, what an absolutely beautiful setting this is today with the sun shining down on us. And there's some dark corners at the minute in this country that have forgotten how to dream. And they just don't have that belief. And there's a lot of disconnection around that. I think we can inspire those people. And I think that we can help to bring those to a reality. I think we need to create a level playing field. I think we need to create opportunities for everyone. Not just for a privileged few. And I think we need to create those opportunities in that environment for people to be the best that they can be. And often all they need is that opportunity. What they then do with those opportunities is completely up to them. So this is not, for the avoidance of doubt, about handouts. There's no substitute for hard work. We don't sugarcoat things. There's no substitute for enthusiasm, commitment, and resilience. But actually, I believe with the right collective will, we can achieve anything. So this is very much about creating the environment for those people to be successful. So to paint some context from an AO.com world, we started our business with 3 of us in a little office with 100 grand. And with a dream to sell electrical stuff on the internet in 1999, which, to give it some context, nobody had even heard of a business called Google. So the business today, for round numbers, has sales of about 800 million, employs about 3,000 people across 3 countries. We're quite proud of the accolade that we export efficiency to Germany. But more importantly than that, as a business, we are one big family, and we unite behind a purpose. We are on a mission together, and we look out for each other. And I don't think that's particularly true of us as a nation at the minute. And I think if it were, I think we'd be in a much better place. We enjoy what we do. We genuinely enjoy what we do. We care about what we do, and that flows into our customer journey. So it's no great surprise that people enjoy shopping with us. And you know, when I read the reviews about our business, quite a lot of people are actually proud to shop with us. And none of it's rocket science. None of what we do in our business is rocket science at all. We just care more about it, we think, than anybody else does. And I think when I look at a lot of the problems that we face, I don't think that any of those solutions are rocket science. And when we normally start a debate with people, wherever they start from, whether it's the right or the left, it's amazing how violently we agree at the end of most debates on most of the topics. I think that society at large has become really quite disaffected. I think that and disconnected. I think that Brexit has demonstrated that. And I think if that was starting to happen in a business, I think that that would very much spell the beginning of the end, and we'd be working tirelessly for how we deal with that in the business. I think that we will look back in a generation at the period that we're in at the minute as a real junction in the road that could be filled with loads of opportunity and could be filled with loads of arguments that lead to nothing. And I hope genuinely that we look back proudly at the choices as a nation that we make. And one of the things that we have in our business as decision-making guidance is that, are the decisions that you're making at the minute going to make your mum proud? It's a pretty good guide. If you've got to sit down with your mum at the end of the day and tell her about the decisions that you made, would she be proud of what you did and why? It's interesting that, obviously I can only speak for my mother, but material possessions they rarely make her proud. But sort of coming together to make a difference for other people, she'll talk to her friends about that. So I think we around here who have an ability to influence things, I think we're needed more than ever. And I think that people need to set aside some of their petty disputes and think about the bigger picture. So what we're trying to do is bring those lessons of what we've learned through our journey of building from 3 of us in an office to where we are today to make a difference within the organisation of OnSide. So as you've seen on the video, OnSide is a relatively unique partnership. It brings together local community, local business and local government. That doesn't happen very often. In a very cost-efficient and a very effective way. We've spent 10 years taking a model that's been around for 100 years, which was the Bolton Lads and Girls Club, and making it into what it is today. And I think most great businesses tend to be a 10-year overnight success story. Certainly AO was. And we're proving amazing results that through leveling that playing field, people can do amazing things. And one of the things that I've seen is that if you look at education of the best private schools to the best state schools, really a lot of the difference isn't in the academic quality of the teachers. A lot of the difference is in the facilities that the private schools provide and in the confidence that they and the belief that they instill in their students. And so leveling the playing field for me is about narrowing that gap. So we want to create a platform to access a section of society. If you think in the troubled families arena, we spend $9 billion a year dealing with 120,000 families. So on quick maths, it's about £75,000 a family. I always joke about it. Surely we can give them 50 grand to just behave themselves. But that's not the answer. And so the answer is to go and understand and actually give them belief and rescue them, I guess. They're a forgotten section and at risk of being a lost generation. And we need to rescue them for the long term. We need to put things in that are going to have longevity for them, not a soundbite for some political gain. And why should we do it? We should do it fundamentally because it's the right thing to do. We have no route to market for these kids, which is why we waste $9 billion a year trying to address these families. And one of the things that we've created with OnSide, really the only route to market that everyone talks about is education. But actually a lot of these families don't engage in education. But in these youth zones, they choose to come and they choose to pay 50 pence each time to enter the youth zone. And to give some context, if you're walking up a street and there's 10 kids at the end of it and it's dark and they've got hoodies on and they're drinking cans of beer and smoking at the end of the street, you probably cross the street. You're very unlikely to walk through them if there's 12 of them on the corner. We're averaging over 200 kids a night in every single youth zone, 365 days a year. Kids that are 8 to 19. The average club has about 5,000 members. So we're tackling issues with them, from race to obesity, from abuse to addiction, from crime all the way through to giving them confidence. And we're doing it under one roof every day of the year. So I really think we are social cohesion at its best. 2/3 of our staff are volunteers from all sectors and all walks of life, from teachers and lawyers to cleaners and cooks. From retired people who face challenges of purpose and loneliness, we bring them in to coach football teams and join generations back together and give them a place that they can get purpose and a place that they can make a difference. I think about it really as a location where the world just works properly, whatever your politics and whatever your position in life. So as I say, we've got 9 live, and they're the hardest miles. A rocket ship uses 50% of its energy to do about the first 10 miles. So we've got 9 live, we've got 14 in the pipeline, we've got 5 clubs in process in London. We open soon: Croydon, Barnet, Barking and Dagenham, and then Hammersmith and Harrogate. And our next goal is 100 clubs. But if you think, to give that some context of what a pathetic achievement that'll be, B&Q have got 300 stores. But it really brings some context to the scale of what we need to build. But the fact that it is relatively small in that context doesn't matter. It is a proven model, and we really, really must remember that every single big business in the world started as a small business. And we mustn't forget that this 10-year incubation to be an overnight success story means that if we're germinating new ideas today or over the next 12 months, we won't see any benefit for 10 years. And we've spent 10 years doing that. So this is ready to scale. I think society needs us to scale it. And I think society needs us to care about it. From my perspective, we've been lucky enough to be very successful as a business and everything that affords. But I also think with that, with great power comes great responsibility. Not that I'm Spider-Man, but it really does. And I think if we don't take the responsibility that comes with our success seriously, then I think we're heading for very choppy waters. So I think we should celebrate in this nation, as they do in the US. I think we should celebrate the entrepreneurial spirit, and then I think we should celebrate what that enables us to do and how we can make a difference. And I would just encourage everybody to engage and get involved in whatever it is. So thank you very much.